this is Seth from Quilting on a Budget. So today's project, we are going to be making a face mask for my daughter. So for today's project, I'm going to be using the small template. When you order them from Martelli, you get 3 sizes, a small, medium, and large. Choose the one that best suits your project. And the step 1 is going to be to lay the template over your fabric. You're going to need 4 pieces. And here I'm cutting, I can't remember, it's either 6 or 8 pieces at a time. I probably should have used my 60mm cutter, but as you can see, the 45 kind of cut through it pretty easily. Okay, so choose 4 pieces of fabric. Here I've got 2 for my outer piece and 2 for my inner piece. So go ahead and flip them over. You're going to need them right sides to right sides. And then we'll take them over to the sewing machine and get sewing. Okay, so once you get your 2 sets right side to right side, take them to your sewing machine. And we're going to be sewing the big arch side, the big rounded side. Now, we don't want to go all the way to the top. We want to start just a little bit below, and the more you make these, you'll kind of find the sweet spot to sew them. So I'm using a 1/4 inch seam, and I'm going to start at the top, go down to the bottom, but not all the way to the bottom. And I'm going to do that for both sets. Okay, now that you got both sets sewn together, the next thing is kind of at the top and bottom where it kind of rounds off. You're just going to trim some of that extra fabric off. This will help with the bulk when you're trying to round these out, putting them together. And then after that, you're going to take your scissors and you're going to cut tiny little slits. You don't want to snip your stitches, but you want to cut a couple slits every 1/4 to 1/2 inch, just to make that arch a little bit easier to bend when you're putting the fabric right sides to right sides. Okay, so at this point, we are going to put our 2 sections that we've sewn together, and we're going to put those right sides to right sides. Line them up carefully, and then we're just going to stitch along the top side, and then we're going to stitch along the bottom side. Do not close everything in just yet. Okay, so the next step is going to be to turn everything inside out and then get everything situated. We want to straighten it out. We want to push the fabrics together. Now this is the time where you decide which pattern, which fabric is going to be your inside or outside. At this point it doesn't matter, it could be either one. So figure out which way you want your mask to go. In this case, I want the star fabric to be my outside. So I'm going to push everything together, line it all up, and then you need to take it over to a pressing surface. In this case, I'm using my Martelli roundabout. really handy. And I'm going to give both sides a good press. Okay, so now that we're pressed flat, the next step is going to be to start working on the ties so that we can fasten this to our head when we're wearing it. Okay, so what I got here is a strip that's cut 2 inches wide, and it's width of fabric, so 42, 44 inches long, depending on what fabric you're using. Now, all I'm doing here is roughly kind of folding the raw edges to the center, and then I will fold those back over and make the rolled edges touch. Now stick that up under your sewing machine and go ahead and put a couple of stitches in it just to get it to stay here like I'm doing. And then go down your strip a little bit and continue to turn it in and roll it on itself. And it goes by pretty quick. So the more of these you do, the better and faster you'll get at doing them. Okay, so now we're ready to close up the ends. Now all I did was simply fold it over and then fold it over again. Doesn't have to be exact, but however big you make it on one side, you need to make it that big on the other side. The smaller the better. Okay, so after I did the first piece, the first side, now I'm doing the second side and I'm rolling it and then I'm folding the mask in half because I want to check to make sure that both sides are the same length. So once you do that and you're happy with what you've got, then go ahead and sew it, and then we are almost done. Okay, so now take the ties that you made earlier and find the center. Okay, and then you're going to take the center and you're going to put it on the center of the mask at the very top. In this case, I'm starting with the piece that'll go across your nose and under your eyes first. Hold that there, run your finger to the end of the mask, and then put that up under your sewing machine. And I'm just using a straight stitch with about a 2.5 millimeter stitch length, and you want to get it as close to that rolled edge as you can. You're not really going to use a 1/4 inch seam for this part. You're going to get it as close to the edge as possible. So go all the way across the top of your mask and the top of your tie, and then you're going to do the same thing on the bottom of the same tie at the top. Okay, so go ahead and do to the bottom exactly how you did the top, and now you are done with your mask. So that was pretty easy. These templates make it fairly quick. They have a small, medium, and large. I've made one of each here. For my 10-year-old daughter, I used the small. It fits her really well. She seems to like it. Said it was comfortable and she could breathe easy, which is great because that means she's not going to be pulling it off when we need to keep it on. If you want to get involved making masks or helping your community and don't know where to start, check out millionmasksaday.com, or if you're on Facebook, you can find us at Million Masks a Day. If you would like to get your own set of templates from Martelli, I will have a link in the description below. And if you enjoyed this video, then please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing. Thanks.